my channel. I hope that this serves you well. I enjoy talking about things I'm passionate about, and two of those things really blend well together. So I thought I would cover how I see that working in my life. Today we're talking about tiny home living and my love of Advaita non-duality. So to give a little bit of context and background here, when I first stepped into this little home, it wasn't just about downsizing for me. It was about right-sizing my life to match the simplicity that Advaita points to. A tiny home doesn't just ask you to let go of extra furniture. It invites you to let go of extra identity. Every drawer, every shelf, every corner becomes intentional. And in that intention, there is space to see what is essential and what is only noise. For years, I'd lived in the suburbs, carrying the weight of a house filled with things I barely touched. I did that because I wanted my son to know that life, and I don't regret any of it. But at that time, I had closets full, boxes unopened for years, and though I didn't realize it at the time, all of that came with an energetic weight. It took energy to maintain that lifestyle, energy to carry what wasn't truly needed. So when my son went off to college and I found myself an empty nester during COVID, the timing was undeniable. This tiny home became the perfect transition, a way to release the burden of more and discover the freedom of enough. And in the stillness of less, a spaciousness opened inside of me, not just in square footage, but in awareness. It seems that being no longer tethered to upkeep, to clutter, to endless caretaking, I began to taste the lightness that Advaita had always pointed towards. For the first time in my life, my son was gone to college. My sweet little dog Milo crossed the rainbow bridge, and all of a sudden, it was just me and my tiny home here in the woods at the base of the mountains, left to myself and Advaita. Living in a smaller space mirrors what non-duality reveals. I definitely saw that. That stillness is never about adding more, but about noticing what remains when all the clutter falls away. Here, when I sit outside in the hammock or in my little bubble dome, I notice the trees, the wind, the rain tapping on the roof, and all of the labels for all of those things fall away. I become them. They become me. Life feels closer, and it reminds me that awareness itself is always this close. Inside, the kitchen counters are simple wood. The living room, a few cozy chairs, a fireplace, and a place to sit and eat and look out the windows. It's very simple, yet nothing is missing. I climb up into my loft at night, tuck into my bed like I'm in a womb tomb. I meditate, and then off into the void I go. Because what fills this home is not square footage, it's presence. Tiny home living has taught me that the self doesn't require a mansion. It doesn't require status or perfection. It simply is. And from that recognition, even the smallest home becomes vast. Now, to be transparent here, I do have a she shed, and that is because I have a love of clothes and shoes. But what I've even found there is having preferences is perfectly okay. Life will show us what is needed, and the downsizing will simply do the rest. And as I've settled into this stillness, something magical has happened. The critters have noticed. The deer walk up to my door. They literally come up to my door. Squirrels try to sit in my lap. Hummingbirds dance above me, and the birds are all around me as I rest in my hammock. It's as if life itself is responding to a shift in vibration, meeting presence with presence. This is my Netflix. This is my newsfeed. The living world, alive in every moment, reminding me that the true entertainment is found in being awake to what is right here, right now. Now, I'm not sharing this so that anyone compares their life journey to mine. I'm sharing it because it's simply part of my own experience expressing itself in the void, and I am deeply grateful for every step of it. It has not all been easy, you guys. There have been storms, floods, weeks without power, locking myself out of my tiny home. Geez, the list could go on, and the funny stories of how I resolved each one of those, or I should say, how life resolved each one of those. But my sense of humor grows, and I never complain, because these are first world problems. Grace and grit, they walk together. And when they resolve themselves, I get to bathe in hot water again, open my cold refrigerator, step out onto my lawn and ground into the soil right there, hug the trees, and feel the quiet, knowing that I am loved and cared for without fear of ever feeling alone. If this is a journey you feel called towards, I hope something here has touched your heart. I'd sure love for you to like, subscribe, and follow if this kind of sharing speaks to you. On this channel, you will find so many of my passion projects. So many things, from extended fasting to fasting, non-duality, Advaita, my near-death experience in 2008, and all the mystical openings that followed from that, along with all of my sharings about living in a tiny home on wheels. So if this reaches you in some way, welcome, and I am super grateful you are here. Much love until next time.